Travel TV. I'm here to share one of my favorite quick travel tips, and that is to experience new foods. When you travel to a new place, there is always something or a food that is related to that area. I encourage you, find out what those foods are. What do the local people eat? What is a popular dish there? And try it. Sometimes it might not be to your liking, but it's just there's something about food that just makes experiences and memories that connect and last about a place that you've been. I want to share a couple of them that we had with our last trip. We had been in Miami before going over to Spain. In Miami, our driver took us to a Cuban area and introduced us to Cuban sandwiches. I had never had one before. This is Galen enjoying his Cuban sandwich. They're a long sandwich. They just have a unique flavor. They're just very good. It was a ham sandwich, but I don't know how to tell you. It's just different. But had we not stopped there, we wouldn't have connected with the community, Cuban community. They were all standing at this little espresso bar and getting their espressos and having these sandwiches, and it just made for that experience for that area. Then when we were in Spain, we went to a restaurant and we asked them again, what's something that people order and really like here? And they brought one of our party ordered this dish, and it was called mushy peas, and that's literally what it is mushed up peas into almost like a sauce. It was interesting. It didn't taste exactly like peas, maybe a little bit more like a pea soup, but it was just mashed up peas. Also in that area that we went to, fish and chips was the big thing. Well, I've had fish and chips at home, but this was different. It was an entire half fish, still with the skin on one side. It had been filleted, and then it had been deep fried. Again, something to experience that was done differently than we have it at home. One of the things that our group really wanted to try this time was tapas. Tapas are big here. Tapas is almost like, I would say, a small appetizer or a small dish of something, a taste of something. And so you can get, like if you go and buy a drink in a bar here, they usually also give you a tapas with it. What we wanted to try was a tapas meal. And so a tapas meal, we found one where they had like a mixed plate. So they pick the mix usually when you get the mixed tapa, but it had clams and it had squid and it had chicken, pork, and meatballs. And then just for a little added, it had some fries. So very interesting, really good. But again, a tapas, small taste. Sometimes it's put on a plate like this one. It's divided into the different sections. Sometimes it's little individual tiny plates that have these little tastes of each thing, almost like we would have an appetizer, but it makes for a whole meal. And then, of course, my favorite thing, if I get to Europe, if I can find gelato, I have to have that. Well, we had been looking for gelato and came upon this little ice cream shop, and they made their own ice cream with fresh. The strawberry had been made with fresh strawberries. The chocolate orange had been made with fresh oranges in it. Ooh, it was really good. And then they poured melted chocolate over the top of your ice cream. That was really cool. That was in Mijas, and that was at the Mayan Monkey Chocolate Factory. Then when we were touring in Morocco, we went by a place that was a community bakery where they make their bread, and then they bring it to the community baker, and he bakes it. And we were able to buy a small loaf, a little bread, and try that, and it was right hot out of that wood oven, and it smelled good and it tasted good, and we all had a piece, and that was just a fun experience. Had we not done that, we'd have just been walking by a bakery. Now we have something connecting the memory of being in that place. Then we went and we had a traditional Moroccan lunch. It came with a soup. The soup had a little bit of curry in it. It had corn in it and egg in it. It was kind of a mixture, kind of a creamy soup. It was very tasty. Came with these, again, that same type of bread we just tried, but it came in, they'd cut it in little pieces. And then we had shish kebabs of something that tasted kind of like a hamburger meat with maybe like a sausage in it and spices that was just kind of formed around the shish kebab and then cooked. Then we had a chicken dish that had couscous with it, different than the couscous that we have. Again, a different experience. Thought we were getting the same thing, but here was this different experience with this couscous and chicken and a cabbage in it with some vegetables. And then for the drink, we had Coke because I love their bottled Coke. I get to Europe and their bottled Coke tastes different than it does where we are, and I just really like it. But if you'll notice, it's written in Arabic on the back, so I thought that was really interesting. At the end of the meal, they gave us these little glasses of mint tea, fresh mint tea. It had the mint leaves in it that were still green. They hadn't been dried and had been boiled, and I think it had honey in it because it was sweet. Very good. I don't know if they do it to settle your stomach if you're not used to the food or if it's just tradition to drink it, but we really enjoyed it right before we had our dessert. Then honey cakes for dessert. I had heard about honey cakes, but oh my gosh, to experience them. I mean, if you went to cut them and press down it, the honey just kind of oozed out of it. It was just amazingly good. But all of these things came together to form this wonderful memories of this trip. I will go home and try to make some of these dishes now, just for the experience now of cooking it and continuing that memory. So use that as part of your travel experience. Find foods from the area that would be unique to that area or something that they eat in that area and experience that. Now, if you can do that as a couple as well, then you have something to talk about together and remember together. That's an experience you've had together. Maybe you'll cook it later and reminisce about that. So food can be an important part of your travel experience. I hope you find some fun foods from the areas that you travel to. Thanks for joining us today. For more travel tips, you can find us at www.scattertravel.tv. We also you can book your travel. I recommend several products that I use and enjoy, as well as giving you many tips and ideas on travel.